Talk up, yeah. Welcome to Detroit, the Motor City streets, where the legends rise and the heartbeats meet. Podcast spinning tales of the 313.
All right, welcome back to the Fan Forum podcast. We're glad to be back here on this semi-warm evening. With me, I've got
Very
all
mild.
the way from our northern border, our friend Buffalo Wayne.
Hello.
And we've got our gregarious, our slimy, our conniving, but ultimately wise Hitch.
Quite wise.
That sounds like I'm running for president or something.
Might as well.
You
I'd
would
vote
be
for you.
you qualify.
Gregarious, slimy.
You're missing
I
a
love
couple criminal convictions, but
Screw that. I avoid New York.
Well, boys, I'm telling you what. We got a new background. We got a soundboard. I cut my hair. My mother-in-law
Yeah.
gave me this cool Lions Revenge t-shirt or sweatshirt. They're on the
Hell yeah.
Revenge
Okay.
tour.
nice.
We got swag now on a website that you can
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah,
A lot of it has Hitch's face on it.
Love it.
Design.
love it.
I anticipate that being the number one seller.
Hopefully it doesn't scare your kids or break your dishwasher or anything like that.
It's guaranteed to scare your kids and break your dishwasher.
Make your coffee taste like shit.
Exactly. Wayne, we need to get you some Canadian gear, something unique to your
Yeah, we got to
your
come up.
weed for your flag.
We got to come up with fan forum, Detroit fan forum, Canadian. Yeah, something in there. We'll have to go back and forth on it at some point, but definitely
Maybe-
something to think about.
Maybe we can take the old animal cracker lion and put that red dash right through it. Buffalo Detroit podcast.
That's not a bad idea. Something for Wayne
I'm full of 'em.
specific.
See?
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the fun thing about this that website that I'm using for the clothing is you can pretty much just make whatever you want. So it's so easy. But yeah, want everybody to get on it, check it out. There's links to our YouTube page on there too. So if you go on there, it's almost like a website for everything that we're posting on YouTube. So
Nice.
yeah, hit that subscribe
work,
button if
dude.
you're listening right now too, by the way.
Yeah, I think I say this all the time, but again, thank you, Mark. You've just kind of like spearheaded taking us to the next level and getting us on YouTube and merch, man. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, man. We're just I'm just along for the ride, man. Like this is still a little bit surreal to me, and yeah, this is definitely the train that you're conducting, man. It's going in the right direction.
What'll be surreal for all of us, Wayne, is when all this work that Mark is putting in pays off and we get, maybe a couple thousand views and interactions per week. That would be
Yeah,
sick.
that'd be pretty cool. Exactly.
It'd be awesome too. I keep thinking, well, I can't stop thinking since I last time had some penalty box that we need to go over there and do something from all of our, do something at Wayne's, do something in your garage, do something here. I think
Yeah.
that would be cool.
That has been like my one and only bucket list thing with this whole thing is to do at least one in person. It changes the dynamic. We'll have a lot of fun with it. I would love to do something in person.
We are going to be in the United States of America next Saturday. And
Oh, yeah.
we have it in our schedule to contact your wife to make contact and do something that evening. Are you aware of this?
What's the date of this Saturday?
Next Saturday, what is it? The 14th?
The
14th, I think. Is it?
So can we, and when I say we, I mean can I crash your party?
You're more than welcome to crash. Yes,
Uh,
Wayne. I was tipped off about a potential cross-border meetup, and I'm excited that this is actually going to happen.
Okay. Nice.
It's been
Yeah.
since your housewarming party. Yeah, that's been
Okay.
2 years.
Keep me posted, man. I would love to come and meet you in person. That would be awesome.
Okay, well, it's gonna have to happen. I don't know how many other opportunities we're gonna get a live, already scheduled 2-person meeting, 3-person meeting now. Into
Couple of
live
beers in Mark's
session.
basement with a live session, dude. Bring down 2 more chairs,
Yeah.
widen that lens, and we'll get after
Yeah, I
it.
was just gonna say, yeah.
I'm down.
I got space. Well, how excited are you guys? We're post NFL Combine right now. So last time we met, there was a lot of mock draft talk, but we were all kind of saying, hey, this is all speculation.
Yeah.
And we all were texting today. Those mock drafts have completely changed.
Yeah.
We can get into that, but what are you guys thinking right now? Who are you still hot on? Who you were hot on last week, or is it completely changed?
What do you think, Wayne?
Honestly, I've always watched the combine just to kind of go, hey, who's the fast guy and who's the guy who stands out and whatnot. This is my first year that I've actually watched the combine for the purposes of, potentially talking about it at a later time in this format. So I didn't really go into it with anyone like, hey, I'm looking at this guy, but coming out of it, I'm with my own eyes. I'm seeing guys that I really like. I'm seeing positions that the Buffalo Bills need to fill and guys that I believe are going to be available at those positions. I'm looking in terms of our draft capital. We have a first and then 2 late second rounds. So preferably, positionally what we're looking at and just creating some depth that way in the different positions. For me, it's been a lot of defense. I hope the Bills focus on the D line, interior D line in particular, bigger
It's a
fella.
good draft for that.
Anything.
It's a great draft to be
Yeah, exactly.
interior needy on both sides of the ball.
Exactly. I think it's a deep draft for defensive players in general. My favorite guy coming out of this first round, honestly, in terms of overall athleticism, that if this guy's on the board, I'm taking him, is Imanwari from South Carolina. That guy looks like a freak athlete, a ball player, one of those Myles Garrett type athlete, but he's in the secondary, a ball hawk, impact players, Kyle Hamilton,
How did he stack up, Wayne? Was he one of these guys that ran a 4.29 or like what? How did he measure out? Are you seeing? I know again, it's all going to change and it's going to change again and it's going to change again. But currently, post combine, are you seeing him in that 28 to 35 realm?
No, he doesn't get past the Vikings. I think are at 24. So anyone who wants it like that, the latest mocks I've seen him go is to them. I've seen him go well into the teens as well. So it's him
So at this
or
point in
Sark.
time, if he's there, it's a no brainer. It's a steal.
Yeah, for
right?
me.
At this point,
For
in
me.
time. Sure.
That's my guy. I sent you guys. I told you guys in terms of using graphic language. This guy gives me a boner.
Hell yeah.
And
I
he's
love a
that
good
kind of
football
guy.
boner.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, I hate
He's
to
a
rain on
stud.
your boner parade. I hate to rain on this boner parade, but Charlie Campbell has him going to the Cincinnati Bengals at 17. So, I mean, you
Yeah.
hit it with the teens.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If he's there, you gotta either trade up a couple spots to grab him if he's available or in the mid-20s, or if he falls to you, then hallelujah. You just grant yourself one of those generational talents in your secondary that you need.
Canadian boner parade. I like that name.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I'm also looking at the Lions now in this kind of format. So I'm looking at guys that I think will be available and fit into your guys' what your needs are. But what are your guys' thoughts on what you like and what you saw?
So
Well, let's hear
I'm
the
sticking.
almighty Hitch, who actually wore a Detroit jacket today. Please.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I'm still
Yes.
looking at Kenny G, man. We talked about Kenny Grant.
Yeah,
We talked about him at this stage of the game last week. Probably or potentially not being there in the 20s, especially as low as
Steal.
28. But
Yeah.
I think after this combine, the quarterbacks didn't do anything to hurt their stock. The quarterback's gonna go number 1 overall. We already covered that last week, that when teams get needy at any position group, it forces good guys down the board. I live and die with the Athletic. I pay the money. I gladly shell it out every year to get access to the Athletic and all of their media and content. And the Athletic said today at 28, Kenny Grant. Their first full mock of a first round post combine said Kenny Grant to the Detroit Lions. The guy's a freak, right? I don't think you have to be from Michigan to watch all the Michigan football to turn on a game and see that he's a freak. He's huge, right? He's huge, and this is a good draft for the big guys. It's a great time to need both sides of the ball on that interior line. It's center deep, it's guard deep, it's D-tackle deep, right? Kenny Grant, unlike a Puna Ford type guy that's a butterball, right? Low center of gravity, a lot of weight behind him, a lot of mass to move around. He's got the weight and he's got the size. I believe what the Athletic said is that you would have liked to see him do a little more with it, be a little more consistent in his game film from college. But with all of that being said, how often do you get a chance at 28 to draft a guy that's like 369 pounds, that's 6'4", that can stay on the field? Yeah, moves the way he moves, stay on the field for 3 downs if need be. So all of that aside, if Kenny Grant doesn't slip down to us in a dream scenario right now, I would of course, look at best available athlete or best available football player. Wayne asked us the other week if we would be okay with the wide receiver, if that was the best football player on the board. My answer was yes. But if you're thinking Kenny Grant, if you're thinking we need help in that interior, we're going to lose Levi, probably choose not to pay Levi, then if it makes sense, I think the best next available defensive tackle. I think once the top 2, 3, 4 guys go, there's guys that I covet, but the drop off in talent and potential production is less of a gamble. Kenny Grant or next man up. You're going to be able to get a guy to fill an immediate need on this defense, and D tackle is one of those positions where you can start day one. You can be part of the rotation day one. So long way to say, give me the best available defensive tackle at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Kenny Grant would be my favorite pick if Imanwari's off the board, just for all those reasons that you just said.
Sure. And I think with the way that this class is setting up, I'm not going to say you can't miss, because teams miss all the goddamn time, but give me a corner, give me a D tackle. I'll take that wide receiver. Give me a safety. Give me the best football player on the board. But it would be nice if that aligned with a position of need.
Yeah. If you look at the draft board, the mocks, like the entire first round, like the Bills are picking 30, they're grabbing instead 31, like KC and Philly, both of them are getting studs mocked to Derek Harmon's going to Kansas City, James Pierce, Jahad Campbell. These guys are absolute freaks, and there's enough talent available that every team can draft a stud this year in the first round. And then you'll still have a few athletes ahead in the second round too that could be first rounders. So very deep.
You gotta think, looking historically speaking, the Hall of Famers, the guys that sustain production, that are lucky enough to stay healthy just by sheer quantity, right? You have 32 in the first round. They're first rounders for their measurables and for a reason. But then you have 32 or more picks for 6 more rounds. So you just got to know how to draft, right? Like, we could be talking about Kenny Grant and talking about Campbell and talking about these quarterbacks, and then likely Hall of Famers from this class are going to be 2 through 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That's what I like about watching the draft more than ever, is we have Brad Holmes that I trust. I'm going to trust him until he gives me a reason not to. And if Brad's drafting him, he swings and misses, but not as often. Not that much, not yet. So I'm really looking forward to picking at 28, and with such a talented class that could potentially fit right in, slide right in to fill positions of need. I'm really looking forward to day 2. I love watching day 2. I intently watch day 2 and 3, because that's where the guys that I covet from small schools, guys that I covet that other people might overlook, that's where they go. And we've been fortunate enough to get a GM that knows how to find those guys. So I really look forward to day 2, probably more than day 1. Mark, what do you think, man?
Listen, you already stole my thunder, Wayne, with mentioning Jahad Campbell. 4 players out of Alabama. That's Brad Holmes' school that he loves to draft from. Not only does this pick solidify your linebacker spot, it solidifies your pass rush. It solidifies everything across the board. Right now, the mock I have him, he's getting mocked 19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A player that, like you said, is an absolute
freak. That would be fitting. That would be totally fitting.
Yeah, he would be a great fit there.
Do you think here, I talked at length about this, Mark, I'll direct this to you. I talked at length today via text with our buddies Bone and Brett, and Campbell's name was like topic of conversation here. And the question posed was, if Campbell is there and Grant is there, what do you do? And then so that's one question. And then the conversation went in this direction of, are we looking at Campbell being, I think they said 25 pounds lighter, a couple inches shorter than your stereotypical, comparing him to like Hutchinson. Are you viewing him as your every down anchor of your defense in the middle? Or are you looking at him in like a standard 4-3, which we're running as of now, to be able to provide pass rush off the edge?
Pass rush off the edge. That's exactly why I want him. I mean,
okay.
I think that's what makes him such a weapon, is not only can he play a typical linebacker position, but he can come right off the edge and destroy quarterbacks. But I don't really see us getting him at 28. I just don't see him falling that deep, because Wayne, you said he's a freak. It's just not going to happen unless Brad decides that he's going to go off and trade for that player. That's the only reason I mentioned the Alabama ties, because the only way I see that happening is he's really fallen in love with that program and this player. But we've got Jordan Birch being mocked in Charlie Campbell's mock draft right now from Oregon. And obviously, Wayne, you brought it up. Who the hell is Jordan Birch?
He has that mocked at 28 to Detroit.
At 28, yeah.
That is,
so I'll tell you why he has him at 28.
yeah, you
Obviously,
need to.
It's a need, right? He's a DN and a D tackle. I'm not going to pretend to know everything about him. I watched a little bit of tape on him today. But guys,
What school?
Michigan.
Oregon.
Or
Oregon.
Yeah, he's from Oregon.
I have
But
questions.
we know that this is going to be, I know you mentioned it with your Matt Millenus likes way of going wide receiver, but I'm telling you, this is just one of those, I don't want to say boring drafts like the Penny Sewell draft, where we know we're just getting a tackle. We're getting a defensive tackle, and I think that's it.
So with Birch, you said out of Oregon, you said you watched a little bit of film today. He's classified right now, I think I heard you say, as a DND tackle.
Yeah, he's a hybrid, yeah.
Was he playing like over center and dead ass out on the edge at Oregon?
It's a 4-3 at Oregon, so
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, he's not playing over center like an Aaron Donald. Excuse me. He's playing a standard run-stopping D tackle, but the way that, and you can
What's
see
his
that,
measurables?
how tall he is. He's 6'4" and he's 280.
280 to me, even though that's a monstrous human, that seems a little bit light to play inside, right? Maybe I'm off base, but
No, I agree with you.
how much does Anzarike weigh, or how much did Javon Curse weigh? Like, I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know, but that seems a little light.
Those are usually like edge guys at that weight, you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, interior guys, you want to have someone closer to 300 plus, especially if you're going to be a run stop gap guy. But even like the hybrid pass rushers, like Ed Oliver's about 290, 295, and I think he's a little
He's a
bit.
big
He's
boy.
like, oh, he's a big boy, but he's he's
Probably
a pass
shorter.
rushing specialist. It's tough. Like,
Right.
struggle a little bit in the run game, but we just lack that big fella. That we need that body. So that's why I like Kenny Grant just to come into and fit right into that spot beside Ed Oliver, and those two together are going to create some magic.
So we're all in
realistically
this.
see Kenny Grant falling that far down to either the Bills or the Lions.
I've seen it mocked. I've seen it mocked a few times. So
Bills are picking
who
where
knows?
now? Bills are picking
30.
20, 30.
Yeah,
I think if Kenny Grant gets to 28, he would probably be gone, but that's just my educated guess. If Kenny Grant gets to 30, I think that he either, maybe we don't know it yet, but maybe he has a real bad pro day or something like that.
yeah.
I also think if he's getting to 30, we're going to see a lot of trades in the first round. I read something interesting today with how deep this class is at multiple positions. Wide receiver in the top 125 or 150 grades out with 19 guys in the top. I think it was 125. Also grades out with 19 edge and interior, I should just say defensive linemen at 19 dudes. So I feel like with basically two quarterbacks that people covet, one or two running backs that people covet, linebackers that can get drafted early again. It's okay again now. You're going to have to see a lot of trades or like a bad pro day to get him down to 28 or 30 as we stand today.
Listen, Charlie Campbell's got him mocked at 11. He's going to have to beat his girlfriend for us to draft him.
Charlie Campbell has Kenny G mocked at 11.
Yeah. Buckley
Yep.
Brooks, a couple of the, what was it, NFL Network. It's just from the NFL Network, a couple of NFL Network tickers that I've seen, a couple mocks on the score. But yeah, like I said, man, I said earlier that the first round has so many studs that anyone can go at any point in the draft, which is crazy to me because, again, the Chiefs and the Eagles, two arguably the best teams, are still getting like premium athletes that could be going in the top 15.
Well, in Chiefs, Eagles, Bills, Lions, Baltimore,
Yeah.
you
Every single one of those guys are getting an impact player.
You tend to think off the cuff is how do these good teams keep getting good players? But it's because they know how to fucking draft, man. I got to take this, guys. So talk amongst yourselves for a second here. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well, Wayne, I got to ask you this. So I've always had, not this theory, but I've always had this gripe that the NFL constantly, over the last 15 to 20 years, forces bad quarterbacks down our throat, right? It's good for the draft. Historically, that's what those are the jerseys kids buy, right? I'm looking at this draft, and while they do have quarterbacks mocked in the first couple picks, I feel like even from an analytical standpoint, even from a media standpoint this year, they're not shoving these guys down our throats like these are the next great quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, no, no.
Ironically, they're being mocked to two bad organizations, the Giants and the Browns.
Yeah, quarterback hungry teams because they draft bad quarterbacks.
Exactly, and they're going to do it again. And I
Yeah.
feel bad for Cam Ward, and I feel bad for Sanders, but I'm telling you, like this whole emphasis on defense now. I mean, Abdul Carter is seeming to be the unanimous first pick right now if the Titans want to be a legitimate organization. So I don't know. I'm real curious to see what these if the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants do any pre-draft quarterback signings or moves, because then that just takes this mock draft and shifts everything.
Whatever you think that Cleveland is going to do, they're going to do the opposite. They watch the combine like Wayne used to watch the combine. They're like, who ran real fast? Let's draft that guy.
Well, look at that. I'll tell you what, I just keep going back into myself and thinking, what if these two quarterbacks aren't taken by Cleveland and they're not taken by New York? That is going to set off, like you guys were talking about, an absolute domino of trades. That's going to shuffle this board all around. Are you prepared to trade away picks right now?
Like, here's the thing. I think our positions of need, in my opinion, which would be either an impact player in the secondary or an impact player on the defensive line or interior or edge, 1, 2, 3, any of those positions for the Bills right now. I think those can be addressed in the draft with the picks, with the athletes that are available. And at the end of the day, my goal is to win a Super Bowl. But if there's an available trade for a guy like Myles Garrett, who we know what he is, who we know is a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, who we know that when the Bills traded for or signed Von Miller to a 6-year, $120 million deal, and we expected him to be him, and he wasn't him, that would be what we're trying to do. Is Myles Garrett is trying to get to that. We're trying to get that kind of production. Yeah. Trade them picks, man. Get that fucking guy.
Well, listen. Now you got me excited. Now we're gonna go right into this free agent trade stuff, because I wasn't gonna bring Myles Garrett up, but you said the word, so I'm gonna talk about Myles Garrett. I've sent you enough memes about Lions being rumored to be the most actively pursuing him. I truly see you as our other competition in getting this fucking guy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't want to put all my chips on it. I don't want to say it's gonna happen, but I'm telling you, Brad's up to something sneaky right now. I feel like your comment about when the Bills went out and you guys got Von Miller to make your big run, well, you had your chance. Now we're going to go out and get our guy, and we're going to go out and make our big run and show you guys how it's done. Because I already know Darius Slay is coming home. I know he's going to sign a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, a little bit more money on his first year, right, to come play for the Lions. So if that happens, if big play Slay comes here, we go all in with Myles Garrett.
Yeah. How much you signing him for 1 year? 8? You're giving him $12 million?
When it comes to money, it's all made up anyways.
It's all just numbers on paper.
Like, it really is. I mean, look at Saquon. He got paid finally.
Yeah.
Didn't even really take much for Philly to do that. They cut James Bradbury and they cut Darius Slay, and they're paying this running back a shit ton of money that he rightfully deserves.
Yeah.
So if teams want to find a way to pay you, they're going to pay you. So if we want to come and bring Darius Slay back home, we're going to find a way to give him whatever dollar figure he needs to come back home.
Yeah. I was listening today to the ticket, and they were saying that even if you go out and get Slay at his age and where he's at in his career, he's your CB4. He's not necessarily coming in to make an impact on the field, maybe more of a locker room guy. Obviously, he'll play situational ball, but like what's the value of a guy like that? You don't want to overpay for a guy like that just to bring him home and whatnot. So, I mean, there'd have to be a reasonable understanding, but I wouldn't pay that guy over $10 million. Maybe like 5, 6.
I guess you're not. I guess this is coming from a Lions fan's perspective on this, and he was my favorite when he was here.
Yeah, exactly. Not just a Lions fan, like a lover of Darius, big play Darius Slay. Okay, we've heard that a few times on the pod.
Yeah, I love the guy, dude. I just love everything about him. I think his personality needs to come right back into this locker room. He's coming back as Unk now, as Jason so eloquently calls me. So I think it would be nice. Our secondary is so young, and the way Brad Holmes seems to want to put this secondary together, he's acquiring these guys through the draft with whether it's Tyrion Arnold or Brian Branch. But who would be better to give Tyrion Arnold some advice and how to not get so many pass interference calls, or how to talk shit without letting it become a penalty, right? Like, let it affect you on the field. I just think it's a perfect matchup.
Yeah. 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 I was listening again on, they were talking about him. He did the boys there, same place. He was on their podcast and they asked, like, they were talking about the free agency and what he would do. And he's like, yeah, I'm only going to two places. I'm either resigning with Philly or I'm going to Detroit. So 50-50 spot, man. 50-50 chance.
Well,
Amon-Ra was doing some good recruiting for you guys. Good
who else was
tampering.
he recruiting?
That's all I've heard
Anybody
so
else?
far. That's all I've heard. I think
Okay.
Myles Garrett he was trying. No,
I know
not Cap.
Aiden
That's Cap.
Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson and when Myles Garrett got together and they did a little Stafford McVay on vacation meetup where I think they.
Is there some validity to that? Show me the article. Show me the source. Source. I think Josh Allen was on that trip too. I think it was just a trip for like.
There we go. Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett discussed. Hold on, playing together would be deadly.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see if I can do this.
Yeah, I think they were talking to Hutch and he said that's what he said. Seems like collusion, but
Let's see if I can. Well, that's what the NFL is all about, collusion.
collusion, gambling, all the refs. Yeah, fine. You were not wrong.
This is how America works. Okay, you can see my screen?
Yeah.
See? I was talking to him, and we were at the NFL Honors, and we were just talking about what could be.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Josh Allen was
I
there
don't
too.
see
Yeah.
anything about Josh Allen in this article, though.
No,
Yeah,
because
Josh
when they
Allen
won the
was
MVP,
in the bathroom. He didn't.
no, when he actually won the MVP, him and Miles were like in the dapping up in the winners room.
Guess what? Show it to me. I want to see proof.
All right. Let me hit up Josh's IG and I'll try to find you something.
Maybe you can do that.
Huh?
Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
I'm supposed to stop sharing my screen.
I also heard today that Myles Garrett absolutely refused the idea that there's going to be an extension with Cleveland, and he is officially done skis there. So there's one team off the board.
Really? When did
Yeah.
you hear that?
Sometime this afternoon when I was doing scrolling, I came across some posts. I can't remember the source.
Damn. I mean, who the hell wants to
It was
stay in
ESPN or
Cleveland
something.
anyways?
I honestly can't remember. But yeah, again, I can't confirm or deny, but this is what I said. That is what I saw, and you can just cross one off the list. Now we focus on 31 other teams.
Should I'll take it, man. I don't know why I can't get my screen to go away. I stopped sharing my screen. Son of a bitch.
Struggling on this one.
Says, there we go. Hey, we're out of it. You still there, Wayno? Hello?
Good.
You there? Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, the Matrix glitched a little bit there.
Yeah, I can take all that out. I'm not worried about the Matrix. Fuck the Matrix. I am the simulation. I love how Hitch walks away and takes a phone call, yet his phone is still lighting up.
So that's a burner.
Makes you wonder what he was
That's some
truly doing.
chops.
He's also the only one I know that leaves his phone with his ringtones on.
What is he again? He's a
I'm telling
blacksmith.
you,
Blacksmith.
total blacksmith.
So I seen a picture of you coaching basketball with like some fresh swag, some nice kicks, backwards hat looking slick. What's that all about?
Yeah, started helping out coaching rec league basketball with Jason. So I wanted to get involved a little bit more. So buddy of mine, we started it up a couple weeks ago, just a bunch of his kids through the local school league. So it's been fun.
Nice. I love that, man. I love that you're giving back to your community. Get to spend time with your boy there, and yeah, you get to impart some wisdom on these kids. It's a valuable unsung effort by a lot of dudes, man. So shout out to you. I coach high school football part-time, and I'm with it, man. Same thing. Carmelo's going to be in high school in a couple years, so I'm kind of laying the land a little bit, getting ready for when he gets there because I want to be able to coach him. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
So you would actually want to be the high school football coach?
No. I don't think so. In Canada, only a teacher can be the head coach. I think. I don't know. But anyhow, I'm just an assistant coach, positional coach. nothing with my schedule. It's too difficult to commit to something steadily. So I can make it there, 2, 3 times a week, and get out there with some of the kids. There's a couple of cool kids out there, man. You know what it is all about. There's a couple kids that couple knuckleheads out there, but there's a couple kids that you fall in love with, man, because you just love their story, you love their effort, they're good kids, or you see them grow and you just wish well for them. And then you get to teach these kids a
Yeah,
little bit
no,
something
I
about
agree.
life. So it's so cool, man. So yeah, man, shout out to you for that.
Hey, dude, it's my pleasure. I feel like there's a lot of kids out there that and coaches out there too that need help. It's a lot to handle all those kids at once, man. And at
Yeah,
this age, when they're younger, they need a little attention. You can't just throw them on the bench and tell them to get lost. The kids live
yeah,
in their head at that age.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
just spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting out of my head. So the last thing I want are, kids out there feeling like they don't, no one gives a shit, or
Yeah,
it's tough, dude.
yeah.
Someone's got to show you how to do things.
For sure, for sure. And the parents appreciate that too, It's something that I'm sure they wish they could do, and some of them should be able to, but they just don't have it, man. You see, there's a certain thing about someone inside of them that has that coach, and not everyone can be it. Some people have the availability, but they just don't have the personality. So you got to have a little bit of that too, and just the wherewithal to relate to kids. They're not adults. You can't talk to them like you talk to Jim, and in your next cubicle. You gotta relate to them, right? So it's a skill. It's a skill, and if you find like you're getting good connection with the kids, then that's awesome. You gotta vibe with it.
Yeah. Huck up. Yeah. Welcome to Detroit, the Motor City streets, where the legends rise and the heartbeats meet. Podcast spinning tales of the 313.